Let's be honest, who hasn't dreamed of finding a dusty old painting in their attic, taking it to Antiques Roadshow, and having a stunned appraiser declare it a long-lost masterpiece worth six figures? For 13 years, one man stood at the center of those dreams, guiding us through the hope, the history, and the shocking reveals. Mark L. Wahlberg was the friendly, reassuring face of the beloved PBS show, the man who seemed to know it all. Well, he's finally come clean with a confession so stunning and so relatable, it might just change the way you watch the show forever. After more than a decade surrounded by the world's leading experts and priceless historical artifacts, Mark L. Wahlberg admitted, he still basically knows nothing about antiques. No, that's not an exaggeration. In a breathtakingly candid article for the Huffington Post, Wahlberg, who now hosts Temptation Island, talk about a career pivot, laid it all out on the line. I will never be an expert on antiques, he confessed. I will never be able to tell you if Ben Franklin once sat in that chair, or if it's from IKEA circa last Tuesday. In a world obsessed with expertise, this is the kind of honesty that feels like a breath of fresh air. He was the host. He was the guy we trusted to be our guide. And all along, he was just like us, fascinated, a little confused, and just trying to keep up. But here's the beautiful twist in his story. While he may not have learned how to date a piece of silver, he said, thanks to the people I meet on the road, I am beginning to learn what is truly valuable. The what's it worth problem. Wahlberg's confession does more than just make him relatable. It peels back the curtain on the strange, sometimes awkward reality of being the antique guy on TV. Can you even imagine what it's like to walk through a grocery store or an airport when your face is synonymous with dollar signs? For Wahlberg, it's apparently weird. People I meet don't say hello, he revealed. They don't introduce themselves. They simply push up their shirt sleeves and announce, "My grandfather gave me this watch. What's it worth?" It's a hilarious and slightly sad image. People don't see him. They see a walking, talking appraisal booth. They don't want a connection. They want a number. And to make the whole situation even more surreal, Wahlberg quipped that half the time, people aren't even sure which host he is. Sorry, that's not me, he'd have to reply, explaining that they were thinking of The Bachelor host Chris Harrison. This is the life he led. A man famous for a skill he didn't have, sometimes mistaken for someone else entirely, constantly being shown jewelry by strangers. It sounds exhausting, but it was in this strange space that he found his true purpose on the show. He wasn't the expert, he was the student, and more importantly, he was the storyteller. Kooky, but amazing. Wahlberg is the first to tell you that the real magic of Roadshow isn't him, it's the appraisers. He speaks about them with a sense of genuine awe. These aren't just people who read a few books. Many of the appraisers we feature on Roadshow are third-generation experts, he explained. The knowledge they've amassed can't be learned in one lifetime. Think about that. The ability to feel the grain of a piece of wood, to recognize the brushstroke of a specific artist, to know the subtle difference between a 1780s clasp and a 1790s reproduction. That knowledge is an heirloom in itself, passed down from grandparent to parent to child. They are amazing, Wahlberg gushed. Kooky but amazing. That little word, kooky, is so perfect. It's affectionate, it's real. It captures the passionate, wonderfully obsessive energy of someone who has dedicated their entire life to something as specific as, say, 18th century porcelain. All these experts tried their best to teach him the trade. What he actually learned was something far more profound. The Lalique bottle and the kindergartner. Wahlberg shares a perfect story that captures his journey. His friend, appraiser Kathleen Bailey, would often play a little game with him when the cameras weren't rolling. In walks a guy with a beautiful perfume bottle with the Lalique mark on the bottom. Wahlberg recalled, "Kathy asked me what I thought." He charmingly compares himself to a total beginner. "She's kind and gently asks me the same way you would quiz a kindergartner that's learning to read. Is it old or new? What country is it from?" That's about where I am in my study of antiques, kindergarten. But this time, something was different. After 13 years of just being around these objects, of absorbing the energy and instincts of the experts, something had finally clicked. "When I picked up the bottle and looked at it, I just knew it was a fake," he said. He couldn't have told you why. He didn't know the technical details or the history of the glasswork, but he had developed something more valuable than